Hi there, it's Rachel here. I'm just going to kind of wing this video. I had a lovely day yesterday helping out the Gloriavale Leavers Support Trust, and they had these flyers printed regarding their trust, the work of their trust. It's got some contact details there, and on the back it's talking about a petition that they have online for people to show their support. What they want is for the government to have a independent inquiry into the harmful practices at Gloriavale, and I've spoken a little bit about those on my previous video. Here they actually outline the issues that they have with Gloriavale. It says the exploitation of children and adults, unsafe work practices, poor education, health neglect, oppression, coercion, physical and sexual abuse, financial mismanagement and illegal activities. So a lot going on there. And so yesterday I put my witnessing abilities, if you can call them abilities, but of course been one of Jehovah's Witnesses in the past, and we were expected to go door to door and also business territory. So what I did, brushed off the cobwebs and went and did the business territory with these. I had a brilliant morning. People were so much more receptive than in the old days when I was trying to push Watchtower magazines. But yeah, most people were very, very receptive, and there were 4 business owners that I spoke to who took, 2, 3, 4 of these flyers to have in their staff rooms, and they were intending to actually have staff meetings about this. So I thought that was quite impressive. I had quite lengthy conversations with a few people. One of them, I spoke to her for maybe half an hour, and all in all I really enjoyed my morning. I spent about 3 hours out, and I went into every open shop and business, except for I left alone the hairdressers because they were all busy cutting hair and I didn't want to interrupt people doing that sort of thing, working with clients. But I went into every business, and I felt awful afterwards that I've never actually been into most of those places before, like it was my first time in there. So I sort of thought, oh, so much for supporting local. So it was really good to meet these local business owners and hear their views and opinions. And some of them actually brought up Jehovah's Witnesses because they knew Jehovah's Witnesses or had family members who were, and there'd been disruption to the family with shunning and things. So I was able to bring it up with a lot of people actually, but my main focus was on Gloriavale itself and the abuses of those people there. So the manager of the trust sent me a packet of flyers, so I'm halfway through them, and I'll attempt to get the other half out to the remaining half of the business community in my town, perhaps today or tomorrow. And I know there are several others around the country who have also put their hand up to support the Gloriavale Leavers Support Trust, who also feel strongly about seeing those abuses in Gloriavale come to an end. And of course the hope is that, my personal hope is to see in the end some legislative changes that prevent organisations like religions from abusing people through, for example, the shunning. Of course the abuses at Gloriavale are far, far more extreme. There's really no comparison, but when it comes to the shunning and the breaking up of families, that is something that we do have in common. Anyway, one of the things I did bring up with people yesterday was that there are no protections for people within religion or former members of religion, no protection in our current law against having their family and private life interfered with. Protections exist where there's been discrimination in other areas, but it seems that religions have a free pass to abuse people. And I sort of jokingly said to someone yesterday that if you want to abuse people, start a religion first, and then you can get away with doing it. Within some reason, of course, but basically religions seem to get a free pass to abuse the rights of other human beings. So this is something that has to change. And in New Zealand at the moment, there is talk about introducing hate speech laws, because at the moment the protections one gets from hate speech are very, very limited. It has to be on the basis of race, nationality, ethnicity, and that sort of thing. But there is no law against hate speech towards another because of their religious or non-religious stand. So some see the introduction of such a law as being a bad thing, imposing upon the freedoms of people, the freedoms of speech. But others see that it's something that's very necessary. However, my concern is if we do get a hate speech law in New Zealand that includes hate speech against religion or people based on their religious belief, that it also applies to religions, that they do not get a free pass to direct hate speech at former members whom they call apostates, or in other words, Satan's helpers in his evil kitchen, liars, deceivers, misleading, predatory, infectious, poisonous, and the list goes on. I kind of find it amusing. But anyway, it's not amusing at all when it has resulted in your family turning away from you and now viewing you as all those things, as someone poisonous, someone who's dangerous to them. So I know of online in the ex-JW forums and Facebook groups, there are many people whose spouses have left them on grounds of extreme spiritual endangerment just because their spouse no longer believes in Jehovah's Witnesses. So, and this has big implications for the family. Sometimes child custody battles ensue, and it's just an ugly, ugly mess, and so unnecessary. So it's going to be interesting to see what this new hate speech law will look like. I'm pretty sure it will be coming. Something else that was interesting, and I don't think I've mentioned it in a video, is that if the Labour Party gets back into power in New Zealand following the elections coming up next weekend, they are saying that they will be banning conversion therapy. Now that's a therapy designed to make gay people straight, basically. Now they want to make it a criminal offence to be doing that. And one of the main proponents of this, Tamati Coffey, he cited reasons why it was so important, and he talked about the depression and anxiety and issues that people of the gay community face when they've undergone this type of therapy, the lasting damage from it. And he stressed how this kind of therapy is out of keeping with the kind, he used the word kind, and tolerant sort of environment of New Zealand today, that it's just not acceptable by the standards of society today in New Zealand. So I sort of thought, well, what about the practice of shunning? Breaking up families based on a religious belief, which is something that's not provable, there's no agreement on it, it's not testable, measurable or anything. How is that something that society would tolerate today? I think they are disgusted by that. So I think using the same reasoning, perhaps shunning should be outlawed in our country as well. Or certainly the advocating it in print and through speeches that are given publicly, like what the Jehovah's Witnesses do. And they seem to be not ashamed of it, which is truly, outrageous in this day and age. So it's going to be interesting to see what develops from that. So I myself have come under attack from hate speech recently, and I have mentioned it a little bit. Lately I have been called a demon, snake, and I've been accused of actually promoting child sexual abuse, which is absolutely outrageous. So if that woman was in this country when the hate speech laws come out, ooh, watch out. Anyway, it's not nice to be the recipient of such accusations. I can take it though, I've got a thick skin. But anyway, I'll keep you updated with what happens here. Okay, bye bye.